Happy Monday, everyone. We're going to kickstart off this week with some strength. So we're going to have some fun with this today. Before we get to the work set, we are going to talk about our warm-up, plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, quad plank hold of 10 to 30 seconds, prone shoulder raise of 6 to 10, alternating reps nice and slow, and then a single leg bridge march for 30 seconds of just some dynamic movement. But again, taking your time, moving well. Got 2 rounds of that. That's going to really kind of heat the core up and get the shoulders fired up a little bit for you guys today. They're going to move down into this bottom piece, which is a little bit more geared towards the workout. Dumbbell shoulder press, again, or push press, depending on what kind of loading you have for at home. 3 to 5 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo. Plank lean for 2 to shoulder touch for 2 for 3. And then we have a dumbbell fly for 6 at 3-second eccentric. Now the fly is going to come in handy for the work set later on, and we'll talk about different ways without any loading or some really light loading that you might want to take down today. 2 to 3 rounds of that piece, and then gear yourself up to the work set. The workout today is going to be focusing on the shoulder press. You're going to do 3 to 5 rounds of the dumbbell shoulder press or barbell shoulder press, depending on what you have access to at home. You are going to work on a 12 rep kind of rep scheme with a 3-second eccentric on each rep. It gets spicy, it gets tough. Now, if you don't have loading that allows you to shoulder press, or that strict press, you can push press, but still keep that 3-second eccentric down. That's very important that we focus on that eccentric and really make sure that we're zeroing on those positions. As soon as you're done your 12 reps, you're going to superset that work set with this one on the bottom. 10 to 20 dumbbell pullovers at a 3-second eccentric into a tricep roll back of 12 for a 3-second eccentric, and then dumbbell fly for 12. No eccentric on the fly, but I do want you to move with control, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Once you're done that work set down here, you'll rest anywhere from, 2-3 minutes maybe to give yourself that time to get fully recovered. Start back with the shoulder press or push press, and then move right into this bottom piece. You'll hit that for 3 to 5 rounds, really working through that work set, getting those shoulders nice and pumped up. So let's fire you up, let's get you warmed up. Let's go through our workout today. All right, let's get those feet to the hips. We'll take the arms big and tall. Big stretch overhead. We're going to reach it over to one side. Big stretch. We'll come back through. Big reach. Good. We're going to forward fold. We're going to touch those toes. Walk with those shins. Nice flat back. We're going to come down. Framing a foot. Stepping back into your lizard. Nice and square in those hips. We'll take that inside hand all the way up. And then we're going to rotate forearm down. We're going to come back up. Rotate, forearm down, and back up, and rotate, forearm down. We're going to come back up to the sky. We're going to plant the hand on the floor, step back into our down dog. As we reach those hips nice and solid, we're going to come back into our plank. We're going to step that other foot up, nice and square in those hips. The inside hand is going to reach to the ceiling. We're going to rotate, we're going to come back up, rotate, rotate, and come back up. We'll plant that hand. We're going to step back into our down dog, reaching those hips. We're going to come back into our plank, pushing the floor away, tiptoeing those feet all the way up. We're going to roll ourselves up to our overhead reach. Big reach to one side, reach to the other side. We'll come back down with those hands. Whew. We're going to tackle this work set, you guys. Let's have some fun today. So, if there's any extra movement you'd like to take down, please do so right now. Pause the video. Take that down for yourself. I'm going to get you going through that first phase with our upper body and core work. Okay, we're going to get ourselves moving around. We're going to kickstart off with our plank to down dog. So I'm going to get myself in this nice, smooth, solid plank here. So the hands are just outside the shoulders. I'm going to push the floor away a little bit, pull the ribs in. And from here, I'm going to maintain that shoulder position as I soften the knees and pull the hips back. So I'm hitting this nice long position through that upper body. I'm pushing through the floor. I'm going to come back into the plank. From here, again, I'll move into that next rep, but only until I feel my body in that good plank. And then I'll actively press back into that down dog. So really finding that good shoulder position throughout both movements. So as I'm in that kind of overhead position in the down dog. My arms are wrapping around my body, giving myself that big lat hug to stabilize the shoulder and make space between the neck and shoulder. From here, we're going to come down to our tabletop, and our quad plank is going to be a static hold. So if you would like to give yourself some cat-cow curls, maybe a couple thread the needles after the plank to down dogs, just to give your hands a little bit of a break, you can. But we're going to come into that nice tabletop. Toes are curled under, knees under the hip, hands under the shoulders. We're going to pull the ribs in a bit, push the floor away. And we're just going to squeeze everything into that center line and pull everything in that midsection. So I'm holding that nice little table, really active through that upper back, nice and solid and flat, and just holding that nice strong position. So people can use you as a table if you like, or have a seat on your upper back. Not that I want people to sit on you, but you should be nice and braced, nice and stable there. And you're going to hold anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds. And if you'd like to accumulate time, you can definitely bank some time in there instead. Once we're done our quad plank hold, we're going to lay on our stomach, getting down there any way you like. I'm going to stretch my arms out to the front. My eyes are going to be down, my toes together. I'm going to press my toes gently into the floor. I'm going to pull my ribs in, armpits press down. I'm going to press my palms down so I feel that engagement. Now from here, I'm going to lift one arm up, keeping that body completely still and keeping that armpit facing towards the floor. I'm going to press the hand into the ground, lift the other arm. And I'm going to press that arm and kind of alternate back and forth. Now with that, I want to make sure that everything is still from head to toe, and I'm just lifting and moving the arms. We're not rocking and rotating. We're just lifting that arm, maintaining that good shoulder position. Okay? From there, we're going to flip onto our back, and we're going to work on a single leg bridge march. So we're going to get ourselves into a nice bridge, feet just outside the fingers. And I'm going to take my arms to the ceiling. So I'm going to push my shoulders up to the sky a bit. I'm going to pull my ribs in to get that low back contact. I'm going to push my feet down into the floor. And that's what's going to lift my hips up. From here, I'm going to maintain that active kind of body position as I push down with my left foot to lift my right. I'm going to push down my right and lift my left. And in this transition, I'm pushing down through that foot. I'm pushing down through that foot. And I'm really activating into the floor the entire time I'm transitioning. And that's what's going to help stabilize the pelvis and that midsection. So I don't want you to worry about how high the foot comes off the floor. I really just want you to focus on pushing that foot down and only lifting that foot about an inch or two off the ground. That's all we really need it to be. So really focus on the pressure down opposed to the lift. Now, as a quick little recap, we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, quad plank hold of 10 to 30 seconds, prone shoulder raise of 6 to 10 alternating reps, and a single leg bridge march for 30 seconds. We have 2 rounds of that work set to really start priming up the shoulders and get them ready for what's to come, because it is a pretty heavy upper back and upper arm day, so we want to make sure that those arms are ready. So pause the video, take that down. We're going to talk about what's coming next, some shoulder prep. Okay, our next phase of warm-up is going to kickstart off with our main focus of the day, the shoulder press or the push press. So what I'm going to do is with my dumbbell or barbell, I'm going to clean that up to my shoulder and rack position. So from here, the dumbbell, my shoulder is nice and active and the back of the dumbbell is resting on my body. So I'm using my body to stabilize. I'm pulling those ribs in so I have a nice neutral midsection. And my feet are just under my hips or just outside, whatever I need to do to maintain a good proper balance position. I'm going to take a big breath and I'm going to push straight up into that nice overhead position, which puts my arms slightly behind my ear at the top position. And then I'm going to pull the dumbbell back down so I end up in that same rack position. So again, big breath and brace, push, and then I pull the dumbbell back to the shoulder. Now if I don't have a dumbbell that allows me to shoulder press, I'm going to use the push press. So at speed, it looks like so. So I'm allowing myself to use the hips and legs. So I'm going to use this nice dip and drive to get that dumbbell moving. So we get smooth dip, explosive drive, and then we finish the momentum with the So the big thing here with the push press is making sure we get the vertical dip, so the hip staying under the shoulder and we're not tipping forward, we're staying upright. So it's very important we keep that nice stacked position. We're still living with that tempo in our workout, so keep that in mind. If we are push pressing, we're still working with that 3-second eccentric, so it's really important to build control and build some extra strength there. When we're done kind of playing with the shoulder press or push press, we're going to move into our plank lean and shoulder touch. So I'm going to face the camera for this one so you guys can see where my body's going. I'm in my pretty standard plank, just like I had plank to down dog, hands outside the shoulders, pushing the floor away. I'm going to lean while I continue to push the floor away, and I'm going to lean to the other side. And I'm going to come back through, and I'm going to lean, and I'm going to take my hand off the floor and touch my shoulder. And lean, touch my hand to the shoulder. Now the big thing here is embracing the lean. So we're taking our body over so that balance, or one of those balancing hands become light, then I'll touch, and then I shift, and then now I'll touch. So make sure we're embracing the principles of the plank lean on both plank lean and shoulder touch. And then you're going to do that for a total count of 3 reps. So you'll end up getting 6 plank leans and 6 shoulder touches. It's a lot of reps, so if you do feel as though you need to take a break in between there and reset those positions, please do so to make sure that those movements stay clean and sharp in that plank and those shoulders stay nice and active as we shift. Right? The other thing we want to make sure we're doing is listening to our wrists and not going so far that we get a negative sensation in our wrist. We just want to feel that engagement and that weight transition back and forth. Now from here, we have our dumbbell fly. And the dumbbell fly is kind of a fun little movement. We're not going to be able to use a lot of load for this. So we can do this on the floor, on a bench, whatever it happens to be. With the floor, it's going to help limit your range of motion, especially if you're a little tighter in the upper back and shoulders. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves laying on the floor. I'm going to demonstrate it without dumbbells in my hands for you guys to see. With this, we are going to set that rib position so my low back is in contact with the floor, my shoulders are in contact with the floor, and my feet are stable and strong. I'm going to press my dumbbells or whatever loading I'm going to use, which we'll talk about momentarily, over to like a floor press. And then I'm going to slowly pull them apart as I keep my arms straight with a slightly soft elbow. When my hands or my elbows/tricep touch the floor, I'm going to press them together, maintaining that good position. So I pull them, I hit that position, and press them together. So it's very important that I take them straight apart and pull them together too, and make them come into the same contact. What I like to think about though when I do these, keeping that low back engaged, all that good stuff, is when I start to pull them apart, I imagine that I'm kind of pressing into the dumbbells, especially when they get to about here. And if I think about pressing the dumbbells into them and letting them kind of slowly lower down, it's almost more like I'm staying engaged and just controlling their fall, and then I'll press them up. So I'm not trying to pull it down to the floor, I'm controlling the dumbbell's descent all the way down. So sometimes that can really help keep in control with that dumbbell position. So if you imagine that I'm laying on my back right now, I hold the dumbbells over my chest, I pull them apart, letting them come down to that T position to wherever I feel comfortable, and then I'm going to press them together. And I'm going to move relatively slow. There's no eccentric in the workout. We have a 3-second in our warm-up, but I want you to think about that control all the way down to the floor so that we're not breaking through the midsection or losing control of the dumbbells. Now for some of us, doing this just really slow with empty hands, you're going to feel a pretty good engagement through that arm and through that body and just moving really slowly. You can do this with a band, all right? So you can pull the band apart like a standing pull apart, but just on your back. You can do this with soup tins, pasta tins, tomato tins, just a little bit of loading, some water bottles, whatever it happens to be, depending on how comfortable you are. You're not going to use the same loading you use for your shoulder press with these dumbbell flies. These have to be lighter. So if you you don't have access to lighter dumbbells, like at the very most for some, 15, that's really on the heavier side, all right, for someone doing this for accessory, for like 10s, 5s, 2s, stuff like that. Find something at home that you can use for some light resistance, or even a couple plates if you have access to plates at home as well. So keep this light, work it for control, work it for opening up and strengthening that pec, and work on those shoulders. Now, as a quick recap for that piece, we have a dumbbell shoulder press for 3 to 5. We have 3-1-3 tempo with that, so it's going to be a slow up, little pause, slow down. If you're doing a push press, we're just going to work on the slow down with a 3-second eccentric. Plank lean for 2, shoulder touch for 2 for 3 reps. Dumbbell fly for 6 at a 3-second eccentric, and that's there again just to find and practice that movement and find a loading that's going to work in our work set for double the reps. So keep that in mind. Our flies are going to be for 12 in our workout. So check that out. Figure out your working weights for all these movement sets. We're going to get you guys going with that next phase. So pause the video, take it down 2-3 rounds, get yourself ready. We're going to talk about a few of the other movements in our work set to get you fired up. All right, we've made it to the work set. 3 to 5 rounds. You're going to kickstart off with a beautiful shoulder press with a dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, barbell, whatever you feel comfortable and have access to. You are going to do 12 reps, and you're going to do 3-second eccentrics. You're going to work that 3-second lower. That's going to get spicy. Now, if you're using a single dumbbell, you'll do 12 per side, and it's okay if you want to rest a little bit between sides, because I do want you a little bit fresh. Once you're done your shoulder press, you're going to move into our superset, which is going to kickstart off with a dumbbell pullover. Now, the dumbbell pullover is something we've used in the past. It's a great exercise for the pecs, and it's a really nice stretch for the lats. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay on our back, just like we do for the next 3 exercises. We get to lay down. So our feet are going to be just outside our fingers, kind of like when we do a bridge. My ribs are going to pull in so I have contact with the floor. And I'm going to hold the dumbbell by the bell. So I'm going to hold with 2 hands in a diamond shape, and I'll show you that in a moment. I'm going to have soft elbows, and I'm going to keep that low back in contact with the floor, and I'm going to take that dumbbell back and down overhead. I'm not bending at the elbows. I'm moving at the shoulder girdle. So I want to make sure the elbows are soft, but I'm moving through the shoulder. And that's what we want to really make sure. Because what we're going to do next, in the next movement, we'll bend in the elbows. So from here, nice and smooth, nice and steady. You can also hold the dumbbell by the bells if you'd like, holding it like so, still with soft elbows. But here, we are going to have a little bit more range of motion. So we really have to focus on that nice straight arm, and we want to make sure that we're comfortable going to that range in that pullover. Now the next movement we can do a few different ways. If I have 2 dumbbells or even a single, I can handle the loading with this. I can hold the dumbbells up over my chest, parallel to each other, like I just finished kind of a chest press or a floor press. I am going to bend at the elbow, bringing the dumbbell to the shoulder, and you'll notice my elbow doesn't move. Now from here, I'm going to bring the top of the dumbbell to the floor. My elbow moves, so points straight up, and then I'm going to extend my arm in one motion. So I pull the dumbbell down to the shoulder, I bring the dumbbell to the floor, extend in one smooth motion. Now this is with 1 or 2 dumbbells that I can handle for loading. These get spicy. If I don't have a weight that I'm comfortable doing with a single hand, I can have the dumbbell like so and hold 1 dumbbell by the bells. I can bend the dumbbell towards my forehead, touch the dumbbell to the floor, and then extend. So I'm going to pull the dumbbell down towards my forehead like a skull crusher, take it to the floor, extend. So it's almost like I'm throwing. I pull it back down to the floor, extend. So if I don't have a small enough dumbbell at home that I can kind of use for that exercise, just use one dumbbell holding by the bells, okay? And that can give you the very similar sensation that we're looking for in our tricep roll back. If we do have a dumbbell or two dumbbells we can handle coming back down as individuals, that's optimal, but both work very, very well, and you will find that with that nice 3-second tempo, that it will definitely pack a punch. Now our last exercise is the dumbbell fly. We covered that in our previous portion of our warm-up, so we want to make sure that with these dumbbell flies, we're working with control, good solid control, using the ground as a nice anchor point for our core and for our upper back as well. So make sure that that weight is well established before we start those sets of 12. So as a quick recap for our warm-up, for our work set today, we have 3 to 5 rounds. Shoulder press or push press for 12 reps with a 3-second eccentric. Then you'll pop down into our superset work sets or accessory work, our dumbbell pullover for 10 to 20 reps with a 3-second eccentric. Tricep roll back, 12 reps for 3-second eccentric, and that can be done with 1, 2 dumbbells, depending on how you want to hold it, and a dumbbell fly for 12. That's with 2 dumbbells or no dumbbells at all, and using empty hand, soup tins, whatever you have access to for loading that will work for you. You're going to hit that up with some rest in between rounds. Remember, when you're done those flies, give yourself at least 2 minutes to 3 minutes of rest, and then hit that next round and hit that strength hard today. So I hope you guys have fun. Kickstart off the week with some strength. We have a couple birthdays this week, so I'm looking forward to this one, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy. As always, work for quality, have a ton of fun with your training, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more programming. Bye, you guys.